After weeks of waiting, the first dahlias are finally flowering and I'm going to show them to you. Hi everyone, my name's Annette and welcome back to Cottoverdi. Today is such a cool day because I get to show you the dahlias that are flowering at the moment in the garden and how fantastic they look with the combinations that I planted them with. I'm loving this view here. I think it looks spectacular. So in the background over here, we've got a eupatorium. This one is called Eupatorium Baby Joe. Underneath, I've got a phlox called Capau White. And then we can just see it, I'll take you over in a minute, but the deep purple dahlia is called Tanita, and it's got such an interesting shape. I love it. Then at the front here, we've got a phlox called Capau Purple, and next to it, we've got La Belle Epoque. And then just past this gorgeous lime green conifer, I'm not sure which one it is. Here we've got Richard's Fortune. So this is a dahlia called La Belle Epoque. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really nice size. It's about 10 centimetres across, maybe 12. And then the underside of the petals are darker purple, which is gorgeous and it's flowering beautifully. I really think the lime green of this conifer goes so beautifully with the pinks and purples we've got going on here. So this is a dahlia called Tanita. It is the most gorgeous, deep purple maroony colour with pink flushes. It's so pretty. It's got these gorgeous twisted petals. I really love it. It's set off against this gorgeous phlox called Capau, Super Capau White, I think it's called. And it's also got little purple centres to the flowers. And then just behind it, over here, you can see one flower of a tiny little ball dahlia called Moore Place. And it just goes really beautifully with this one here. And then as we get a little bit taller up here, the eupatorium is just starting to flower. From this side, we can see that behind the Tanita dahlia, I've got a gorgeous Nicotiana or Nicotiana. That's how I say it, and it's swaying beautifully in the breeze. And again, I think it's just surrounding the dahlia and just making those colours really sing. I think it's gorgeous. So this is La Belle Epoque from the other side. You can see the state of our lawn behind. It is absolutely dry as a bone. It will recover, I'm not worried about it, but that is how little rain we've had, and we don't water the lawn, obviously. It'll definitely recover, it'll bounce back next year, I'm not worried, but it does look terribly brown. So this is Richard's Fortune, looking stunning. I really love the fluffy centres to Richard's Fortune, and they're really nice, full dahlias. I absolutely, definitely recommend this one. I bought it, obviously, because Richard's called Richard, so that's why I bought Richard's Fortune, but it's such a pretty dahlia. I'm so pleased with it and I would never not have this dahlia. Over this side, we've got some poppies that are still flowering, lots of poppy seed heads, which I'm going to pick later. But I think this is Lauren's grape. I didn't plant any of these. I didn't sow them. They've just all naturalised and they self-seeded from last year. And then these two dahlias here, the taller one, the one on the left is Caitlin's Joy, and the one on the right, more peachy, orangey, that one is Natalie G. So this is Caitlin's Joy. I really love Caitlin's Joy. It's a perfectly sized dahlia. It's not too big, not too small. I really love this one. Quite often it's darker than this, but I think because of the heat that we've had, the hot weather, that it's a little bit paler this year. And then this one at the front, which is pretty much the same size, this is Natalie G, and it really is this lovely, bright sort of peachy colour. And very pretty again. I really love this dahlia. So right next to these dahlias, I've got something else that I really love growing. This is called Amaranthus Red Cascade, and it's gorgeous. Look at those really long tassels. They work so beautifully in flower arrangements, but they also look so interesting in the garden. I think they're incredibly cute. I've still got a couple of sweet peas, but I think we're going to pull these out. They're pretty much done for. They have not enjoyed the heat this year, and they're covered in aphids. So we're not going to be keeping those, but look at the amaranthus. It's so cute, really soft, moves in the breeze. I love it, contrasting with the colour of those leaves. And I just think it makes the garden look so much more interesting having fun plants like that. Over on this side, we've got some more of that gorgeous eupatorium called Baby Joe. And then we've got some other dahlias that are just starting to flower. So the deeper pink ball-shaped dahlias, those are Caitlin's Joy, one of my favourites. And then in the front there, we've got Mondrian, which is sort of this pastel-y yellow peachy colour. It's really cute. I'm going to take you closer. So this is Mondrian. It's got that nice sort of bright yellow centre and then these stripy peachy coloured petals. I think it's ever so sweet, and it again is a really nice size, so it's probably about 10 centimetres. And we can see that some of my cosmos are starting to flower. I think that is double click cranberries. So these are Richard's Fortune. They are nice and big, again, really, really pretty. They curve back a little bit, but they've just got these gorgeous fluffy centres. They get paler towards the outside on these larger petals. I think they're gorgeous. Over here, I've planted all of my favourites. So this one that we can really see, this is called Ivanetti, and I love it. The richness of the colour in this particular dahlia is astonishing. It's kind of deep purple with flashes of red, especially round the back. And I've got it with Cupcakes White Cosmos right next to it there. But I've also surrounded it by another one of my favourites, which is called Mylena Fleur. And it's absolutely stunning. Now, it's not, you can't really see the flowers as much, but I'm going to show you how it flowers. It's so, so pretty. And when Mylena Fleur flowers, it really flowers. Like, you just get so many flowers on that plant. So this is Ivanetti. So the flowers are about between 5 and 7 centimetres. Then if we look at the back, then it's just a really rich red, whereas the front is just this gorgeous, gorgeous purple, deep and interesting and luscious. I've still kept my Allium spherocephalon. I like the structure and just the texture of them, but I probably deadhead them sooner or later. But this is Mylena Fleur. And it's such a pretty colour. It's just got all those sort of sunset colours, but in a more sort of pastel way. It's so pretty. I love this dahlia. Over here, we've got Melissa Anamariques just starting. It's a dahlia with this really lovely dark foliage. I love it. And this is one of those dahlias that's got the really dark underside to the petals. So it just creates this really nice contrast. I have still got some Sweet Rocket, purple Sweet Rocket flowering there. That's because I deadheaded it. But let's focus on the dahlias. So this dahlia I've planted with a shorter snapdragon, not this one in the front. So this one in the front here, I don't know which one that is actually. The label's worn off, but the orangey ones, the ones that are more sort of the warmer coloured ones, are short, and they are called Mini Blush Sunset. And I really do like them, but I'm not sure how I feel about the colour contrast. I may have just gone a little bit wild here. I'm not sure that I love it. I mean, purple and orange do tend to look quite good together, but at the moment, it's not my favourite. It's just a little bit too clashy for me. However, over here, I've got some more snaps. These snaps are Opus Lavender, and they're gorgeous. And they probably would have gone a lot better with Melissa Anamarique than this Sunset Snapdragon. So over here with the Simple Life Rose on this obelisk, I've got Ivanetti on the left-hand side, and then the smaller ball dahlia is another Moor Place. And you can see again that I've got this gorgeous Red Cascade Amaranthus, which just adds something so special. I don't know, it's just, I think the colour of the leaves are fantastic. This is Madame Butterfly Cherry Bronze down here. And then this is Potomac Royal, which is like, I haven't propped it up and it's just falling all over the place. I do need to prop it up. And then just to the left here, this is a new dahlia to me this year, and wait for it, it is gorgeous. This dahlia is called Maldini. It's so pretty. I love the shape of the petals. Each one's got this sort of tiny little white tip to it, which I think is super attractive. And I think it does go really well with my Snapdragon Potomac Royal. This is one of the things I really wanted to show you today. This is called Orach, or Atriplex if you want its botanical name, but this is Orach. It's from the spinach family, I think, and No, I did not plant this. These are self-seeded from last year and I absolutely wouldn't be without them. Now this one is actually in front of one of the obelisks. I don't mind too much, but I'm going to cut it and bring it indoors because now that it's formed the seed heads and they're turning this gorgeous sort of rosy peachy colour, it makes a most incredible display in a vase. I just think it's gorgeous. It's really good with other plants, you know, if you want it sort of as a background filler, but actually just even on its own, I think it looks absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you a close-up of what the seed heads look like. They've just got this gorgeous blush to them. They're so, so pretty. And this is the perfect time to pick them. When they're just turning like this, I think it's amazing. Now these come in all different colours. This is the green one, but they also come in a deep dark red. Directly below the Orach is Night Silence. This dahlia I had many years ago and then I lost it, but it's got the most gorgeous antique-y colour. It's just a really, really soft sort of, I don't know how to describe this colour actually. It's purpley pink with like splashes of peach in it and a really dark centre. It's also got dark foliage, but not nearly as dark as Melissa Anna Marike. Over here we've got Copper Boy. These are quite short at the moment and I think they're supposed to get a little bit taller, but Copper Boy starts off really coppery and like this sort of rusty colour, and then as it gets older the edges fade to a much softer colour, but it still keeps this dark centre. These are about maybe 6 centimetres across. They're not huge, but they're gorgeous and really tightly packed with petals. Love them. And I've got it planted underneath an obedient plant. So we've got the sort of purpley pink colours of the obedient plant with the copper. And I just think it looks really nice. This is another one of my Cosmos experiments. This one is called Rosetta. And it's a really nice pink stripe to it. And the petals curl up really beautifully. This one's going over. You can see it's been pollinated, but it is gorgeous. Round this side, we've got a Cosmos called Apricotta, just starting to flower. And I've planted it next to a rose called Coco Loco. And in front of that, I've put a gorgeous little ball dahlia called Willows Borealis. It's just got that perfect sort of lilac-y purple colour. And then I have, in front of that, one of my favourite Cosmos. This one has really big, bright, I can't describe that colour. It's kind of raspberry purple. It's called Fandango anyway. And then behind that, we've got a dahlia called Kickoff. This is Willows Borealis. Really, really small, maybe 2 inches maximum. Coco Loco. Dusty, antique-y, almost coffee lavender shades. Most incredibly coloured rose. I really, really do love it. So the buds start off this gorgeous sort of pale coffee colour. Then it opens up to something even prettier. Very unusual. This is Cosmos Apricotta and it's absolutely gorgeous. It really does have sort of apricot stripes to it and hues. You can see pollinators really love Cosmos because they can access the pollen so easily. Of course, as soon as they're pollinated, then the petals drop off, so they don't last very long. You have to catch them. If you want to cut them, you have to catch them before the pollinators get to them. This is some more Orach on this side of the bed. This one is going over a little bit faster, but I don't have a problem with that. It just means it's got more of that sort of blush, rosy tint to it. And then if we move along here, you'll see that there are some more green ones that haven't quite turned yet at all, so they don't have the blush to them yet. And these are the seed pods that are creating this colour. These are not flowers. These are literally the seed pods. I think it's incredible that something this beautiful and this large can grow from something that's self-seeded. I did not plant it this year. This is Barley Blush. Now these flowers actually get really, really big. This one is not so big at the moment, it's maybe 12 centimetres. This is very short as well, it's going to grow a lot taller, but this is the first flower. And I think Barley Blush is gorgeous. I also think the colour has changed on this one a little bit from what it normally is. Normally it's much more of a mid-pink, much richer, but I think again it's the heat waves we've been having that have caused the dahlias to maybe not be quite the colour that they normally are. Over here, under a rose called Souvenir, it's not quite underneath, but definitely gets some shade from a rose called Souvenir, is another dahlia, and this one is called Mr. Blue. and it's gorgeous. Right at the front, we've got some more Willows Borealis, the tiny little lilac balls. But Mr. Blue is the most incredible colour. Again, it's one of these really vivid colours. I think I'm drawn to them quite a lot this year, but I guess it's called Mr. Blue because the back petals are definitely purple, but it's so rich and vivid and just gorgeous. It's just so pretty. So the centre is the most incredible, almost fluorescent. It's like shining, a really bright magenta colour. And then the outside petals definitely have turned quite a rich purple colour. So I've done a similar thing again to try and get the colours to sing even more. So I've got this echinacea, gorgeous white echinacea in the front with those little orange heads. And then I've got Mr. Blue and Willows Borealis in the background. And they just sort of bounce off each other really nicely. And it just, both of them shine. So we see the echinacea with the orange heads, and then we also see Mr. Blue, and they just complement each other so much. And then right at the top here, this rose has gone absolutely bonkers this year. This is Souvenir, and it's gorgeous and pumping out the blooms, and they're on such long, strong stems, really large flower heads. And it's just this wonderful mix of sort of cream and blush and bits of pink. I love this rose so much. So over here in this border, that is a self-seeded Potomac Royal Snapdragon. And beyond this gorgeous, dazzling Dahlia, it's going to stay quite small like that, which is really wonderful. Here, I've got a dahlia called Beautiful, and it's a fantastic lilac colour. I think it goes really well with this other self-seeded Orach. This is the purple variety that I was telling you about. So these flowers, again, are really large. They're quite flat, but they've just got these lovely curved petals. I think it's so pretty. It's just a really, really nice soft colour, and I can see why it's called Beautiful. Over in this border, we've got Melchior. Look at this beautiful dahlia, and I've got it planted next to a phlox called Monica Lindenbell, which is this gorgeous sort of blushy colour. It really is so pretty. So it's a combination of white with pink, and I think it looks gorgeous. It's also right next to my new Princess Alexandra of Kent. I've got some of these in the front garden, they're huge, but this is my new one here in the back garden. And I think everything just goes really, really nicely. So this is Melchior, and then behind in the distance, we have got Skyfall. That's a gorgeous single dahlia. We can see a little bee there enjoying that. And there's an even brighter one. So this one here is even brighter. And in fact, I can see another pollinator on that one. Oh, it's just flown away. And then over here amongst the Achillea, this tiny little ball here with a really rich colour, this is called Orwin's Violet. This is Mrs. Miley, and it's very much a sort of dusty, coppery colour, I'd say. It's really muted and cute with a nice purple centre to it. This is Teesbrook Audrey, such a soft, gentle, sort of pinky lilac colour, and it goes really well. I've got it planted next to a sanguisauba called Lilac Squirrel. That's the pink dangly thing, and then that is a blue eryngium, and I just think it looks so cute with these two. And again, with the open centre, it's going to be adored by the bees. This year I've popped Feline Yvonne in my Queen of Sweden border, and I think it looks gorgeous. So it's planted right next to the Queen of Sweden roses, and I think it's really looking fantastic here. I love the size of the blooms. They really are quite large and pointy and just the most pretty colour. Here near the gravel garden we have got Princess Nadine. And when the buds first open, they're this really deep, deep colour. And then it's a gorgeous contrast because they get paler and more muted with this lovely golden glow in the centre. I think Princess Nadine is really pretty. And that flower is about 6 centimetres across, so they're not small like some of the other single dahlias. And in fact, it's got these sort of double petals to it. It's not really a single dahlia at all because it's just got other petals. I think it's gorgeous. Adored by pollinators. I promise I don't plan this. They just land on the flowers as I'm going round. This one here is called Palmares. They stay quite short for me. I've never had one that grows particularly tall, but it's super pretty. And if you're looking for something in the sort of pale yellow range, I think this is gorgeous, and it's much bigger than something like Wine-Eyed Jill. So this is a really good one if you want something on the larger side. This one is called Hamari Rose, and it really is such a pretty rose colour. It's so pastel and soft and gentle. I think it's gorgeous. It goes really well with the red Orach that I've got growing in this bed, and I think it looks really nice with the roses in the background. So this rose is called Blush Noisette, and it's on its second or third flush. I think it looks gorgeous, but Hamari Rose is so pretty. I've had so much fun in the garden with you today. We've taken a look at all the gorgeous dahlias that are blooming already, and I'm so excited about what's to come. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.